Let's get the scoop on the NBA Finals with Brendan Scoop B. Robinson, NBA reporter and insider. My man, welcome back. I wish we could be talking about the Knicks in this situation, but unfortunately we got the Celtics versus the Mavericks. How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad to talk to you. And like you said, it's pandemonium. Game one tonight. Two teams, the Celtics and the Mavs. It's literally a David and Goliath story here.
All right, we got the battle of the big twos. We got Kyrie and Luka versus Jalen and Jason. They're asking this question all over sports TV, so I'm going to ask you, which big two has the most pressure on them to win the finals?
Well, I mean, if you look at the Boston Celtics, to me, it would make logical sense for this reason. They've been here before as a unit. You've just added Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis in this instance. They've been there. They've played against a veteran team in the Warriors two years ago, and they didn't seal the deal. And so if I'm looking at the Boston Celtics, I'm looking at two things: experience, having experienced defeat, and two, being the most consistent team throughout the course of the season. I think it's the Celtics. But at the same time, you look at this Dallas Mavericks team that has clicked on all cylinders. Every series, they've gotten better. I still think it's on the Celtics, but at the same time, man, the Dallas Mavericks are locked and loaded.
You talk about how locked and loaded they are and how what they've done throughout the playoffs, but you also say how Porzingis is back healthy and he's going to be playing in game one. We know what he can add to his squad, but on the Mavericks side, outside of Luka and Kyrie, a lot of casual fans don't know who else could be that third member. So who has to match Porzingis' energy and production on the Mavericks side of this series?
Well, it's going to be on the onus of Daniel Gafford, presumably. I think, a guy that I've watched front and center since the beginning of his career in Chicago and then finding his way to Washington, he's always played like that. The landlord makes sure his rent is collected first of the month. The rent is due. But when I look at this situation with Porzingis has to play healthy. I think Porzingis will be the X factor for the Boston Celtics because that's what they brought him in there for. Like, gone are the days of Robert Williams III, who was great defensively, but Porzingis can bring you that third option of scoring. I think defensively, Daniel Gafford not only can stick Kristaps Porzingis, he can catch lobs. He can defend your favorite 4 and 5 man. So I think the national perspective, many people are still getting adjusted to who all is on the Mavs roster. There is more than Jason Kidd, as well as Luka Doncic on the floor, and Jason Kidd as head coach. They do have other pieces on the Dallas side, and so too do the Boston Celtics.
All right, let me get your game one thoughts. How do you see the flow of the game going? Who do you think wins game one?
Well, in answer to your question, I do think that the Boston Celtics do win game one. I think they've gotten a lot of rest since the conference finals. But I will say this: game one to me don't really mean anything because game ones are always fill out games. At this point in the season, guys are playing a lot of half court, a lot, and know each other's plays. But I do think that this game or this series has the potential to go 6 or 7 games, just because I think both teams are very well equally matched.
All right, before I let you go, we saw the news reported that the Lakers are aggressively pursuing UConn head coach Dan Hurley. You spend a lot of time out in L.A. You're connected to the NBA. Is this the right move for the Lakers and for Dan Hurley himself?
Well, number one, he didn't get the contract extension that he wanted in UConn. So I do look at it two ways. I do look at that as a way to get UConn to open their ears and their wallets. But from everyone that I've spoken with on the Lakers side, they're not close to making a decision. I know that there are people that they're filling out. I know that J.J. Redick was or is the presumptive favorite, but they're still looking at other people. Kenny Atkinson is one of them. But I do think that on the ESPN side, when you look at J.J. Redick, I think Doc Rivers was a cautionary tale as to, are you leaving or are you not? So you're looking at this situation. I think the Lakers and as well as Hurley are using their leverage. But from everyone that I've spoken to, it's not a foregone conclusion yet, but they're going to offer him a lot of money to go and be the head coach of the Lakers. Time will tell, but you're seeing a lot of new guys coming in, a new crop of coaches in the next 10 years. You'll see the guys who were the assistants that on certain teams and in college ranks now getting looks from the Lakers and everywhere else. So we'll see. I know Redick is not making his decision until the end of the season. And don't forget the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're still in the hunt for him as well.
Gotta love leverage. Scoop, tell the people they can find you. Shout out the platform.
Scoopy Radio. It's everywhere you want to be. Kendrick Perkins was on yesterday. We had Styles P. Subscribe to Scoopy Radio on all streaming platforms. You know where to find me. Talk soon, brother.
Talk soon, man.